And here we are.
Oh.
Hey, CJ will be joining us momentarily.
Oh.
Technical difficulties on our side, not his, with getting him information. He's gonna be.
Oh, there he is.
There's the man, the myth,
look at
the
that.
legend.
We're all on time.
Game day, CJ. What's going on?
Nothing much. How's everybody?
We're good. Doing good. Important day tomorrow.
Very excited.
Yeah. Football's back.
Yeah.
What's that from? They're like, he's back.
SNL. That's an SNL skit.
No. Anyway, so welcome to our show. Welcome to Game Day 716. We start every Wednesday at 7:16. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to break down the Bills versus the Rams. You got myself, Noah, Game Day CJ.
Other way.
No, it's right.
No, it's okay.
Oh, it's not on your computer,
Yeah.
but it's right on mine.
I don't know.
Oh, I mirrored mine or something. Anyway, so Mafia. Oh, I didn't mirror mine because Mafia was being read. Anyway, people don't care. So, big news today in Bills world. Dawson Knox got signed to a $53.6 million 4-year extension with $31 million guaranteed. What do you think?
Cool.
Fluffy's in the house.
Let's go.
Do you know that's his nickname?
No.
It's his nickname,
That's
Fluffy.
Awesome.
I wish I would have known that
wondering.
before we created our shirts. Yeah.
I figured out that my wife today finds him very attractive.
Oh.
So.
Well then.
It's always a good day when you find out, like, who your
Hey,
wife's attracted
she lets
to.
me worship Josh Allen, so it's fine.
But there's
And
no real
others.
worry there. It's the same sex. It's a little different, right? I don't know.
mean, hey, and to each their own, CJ.
He is my phone screen. So.
We all worship Josh Allen in one way or another.
Looks good in shorts,
So here we are, back again.
Yeah. What do you think about the contract?
What do I think? Well, it's an extension, right? So he's playing on his regular contract this year, and then we'll have 4 more years of him after this, right?
Yeah, he's here until 2026.
2026.
That's the last year of his contract.
Is the last year. Okay. So that makes sense. I think it's a good deal. It puts him in the top 5 of tight ends, I believe, is what I read.
I think that's fair now. I think that's fair. I mean, I think that's
Is it fair though for someone whose whose highest receiving season is 550 yards? Yes, he's a touchdown scorer, but
would you rather lose him and lose a target that Josh likes and have to replace what Knox brings to the team? Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of yards, but he always seems to be open in the end zone near the, that second half of the year, he was, touchdown machine. I mean, he broke the record, for most touchdowns in a season, in a Bill season, by a tight end in franchise history. So,
Yep.
I mean, I think sure he's only had one good season, but he's also had consistent improvement. I mean, 2 years ago we were saying if he just improves his drops, he could be amazing.
Right.
And then year 3, I think he did to a point.
No,
and
he definitely has.
And look at what, he came up with. He broke records. He broke franchise records, but that's still, that's a franchise record that stood for what, since the 50s or something? I think
No, it was did he break it or did he
either tied it or he either tied it or broke it, but it was, I remember it being a long ago record.
Yeah, from like the 90s.
Yeah, that's still long ago.
It's not that long, man. So CJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think that, in my opinion, this means that they feel as though he is going to take another step in the right direction this year. And, if I'm them thinking how, why this came at this point, it's got to be because if they felt like if they waited to the end of the season that the market would be higher and he would want more. I don't know if that's just, an indication of them thinking he is going to take another step forward, or them just realizing how, the markets work in the NFL, and that, guys are always going to continue to raise that bar and get higher amounts and higher amounts. And so it's always better to do deals now, as opposed to waiting and paying more in the long run. So I think that probably had a lot to do with it. And I think it's bodes well for what to expect of him this year. I think they're expecting him to continue to move forward. And I think, this deal kind of shows that they feel that way.
Well, he's good. I mean, I don't want to take that away or anything like that, and I hope that wasn't coming across that way. I think
you're saying Knox sucks. What the hell, man?
No, that's not it. But no, I think he's good. Everything's gotten better, like we said. Even like his agility and his speed have improved. So Madden exists in real life sometimes.
Some guys make a living off finding the soft spot, right? And I think that is what he has really, really become good at, is finding a soft spot in the zone, getting in between.
He also knows where Josh wants him to be.
For sure.
I think that's both.
Which is, an important thing. And he, for Josh, I don't think he was going anywhere. I don't know. I think they would have made it work, whether it was the end of the year or now. But
I think that last season forced them a little bit to start to think, okay, well, if he has another season, like getting better, because every year it's gotten better, right? So it's like he continues to do that, then he will be asking, what if he has a 1,000-yard receiving year this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you realistically at the end of the season, are you still going to get him for what you got him for right now? I don't think so.
No, I agree. It's very similar when we were talking about an NFL comparison to the Tage Thompson contract.
I mean, if you're
betting on potential still,
and then if you're thinking
and the
about
market,
Knox last year, he was top in tight end, stats and all that, and his season reminded me of like Mark Andrews, where it was like CJ was saying, he was Josh's safety and always seemed to be, Mark Andrews always seems to be open and always seems to score a gazillion touchdowns.
Because he's 6'9".
Yeah, and Knox is 6'4".
So a lot of guys are 6'4".
It's even more impressive.
Even more impressive. What do you think this does to like Edmonds and Poyer and other guys who are up at the end of the year?
I think this might mean Poyer's out the door.
I don't know. I think I rewatched the end of the Chiefs game last night again. Chiefs Bills divisional game from last season.
Yeah.
And I saw a few plays on those two drives at the end. One where they scored a field goal to tie it, and then at the end when they scored the touchdown in overtime. And I just felt like there was a few plays where he was just not in position. I know a lot of it goes on Dane and how he messed up.
Poyer or Edmonds?
Edmonds.
Okay. Just making sure who we were talking about.
Yeah. Edmonds. I just felt like a few times during those drives, and I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if it's the coaching. I know we went over this a lot back then, but I don't know if it's the coaching that told him to do these things, or it's him trying to just overthink a situation and kind of trying to be one step ahead of these guys. And it's like, just play where you're at. There was one play specifically where he floated. I think it was the hill dragger, like where Hill just dragged across the maybe 5-10 yards and then just dragged across the field. And where he was is where the ball was thrown. When he started the play, if he stays home, the ball would have been thrown right maybe within 2-3 feet of him. But he fades over to the right side of the field, and then the drag comes right across his face, and it's right behind him, and it's wide open. You know what I mean? And so watching that stuff, I'm not convinced that he's the answer, but that's me.
Well, I'll bring up, looking back on that Chiefs game, here's what I'll say about that. With being so many months removed from it, yeah, no, that still hurts because like I watched that season recap thing and knowing how it ended, you're just like mad the whole time. Like
the game was so good.
The game
like,
was so good, but you know how it like you know that they lose.
It does.
You know
that
what I
didn't
mean?
matter to me
Like,
in the end. Like the game was so good. It mattered at the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying now.
Like I'm just like that game was so good and so good to watch.
Yeah.
Like how can you?
Yeah.
It's. I mean,
well,
it's not even. It's like the last team with the ball won. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean it was just one of those games, and it just sucked that it wasn't the Bills.
Well, and that's kind of where I was going with it. And and I'll bring up, what everybody brings up when they talk about Edmonds is that he is 24. But the other thing that I bring up is that for as good as the Bills are, they haven't played in that many games that were like that, where it was a shootout. They all had to play on top of their game. They almost won and beat a Super Bowl winning team. So which is why I think them being the top for a Super Bowl contender this year is perfectly fine. But when we sit there and critique Edmonds, I just think like how we talked about this previously, but you're not going to get a lot of people like Edmonds. You're not going to find a lot of those players. So I guess like it comes down to,
I agree.
Do they feel that they can put Spector in there next year?
Oh, I'm not saying anybody on the roster is going to replace him right now. I'm not saying that. I don't
think it would be Spector who would replace him. I think it would be Bernard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, but not
regardless. Yeah. Do you trust anybody on the roster to replace him? That's
not now. I mean, he
would have to
I
bulk agree.
Up, but he's similar in speed. He's Bernard is supposed to be good in space. But he's supposed to be more like Milano than he is like Edmonds. But that's because he's on the thinner, kind of smaller side. But but good in passing scheme. So I mean, maybe we wouldn't see Edmonds in that down this year. We would see Milano and Edmonds, or Milano and Bernard rather.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, this comment's a good point, which is also kind of my point. Like, for as much as Edmonds was out of position, I mean, Edmonds wasn't the only one. I mean, Levi was out of position. Like none. The problem is for as good as this team was, being the number one defense, being a high flying offense, they haven't been in situations where it tests them. Honestly. Where that was probably their biggest test, and honestly, in my opinion, they did step up to the ball. It just came down to
threw a perfect game.
It came down to what you said. Whoever had the ball last won,
based on the rules at the time. And
so I guess my question would only be, given everything we know about his athletic ability and everything like that, do you feel as though he makes plays that match that ability on the field?
Definitely against the run. I mean,
yes and no.
I don't know if I think I mean, I just don't think you find someone his size, age, with that type of athleticism very often.
Yeah, but true. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, you can find those guys who don't have that, but are just the, gym rats, always working, and have better instincts. You know what I'm saying? And instincts is just not something you can, put a number on. You know what I'm saying? And say, okay, well, and that's the hard part. And so it's like,
one of the things when they drafted Edmonds was they felt like he had very high level instincts. Like,
I just almost think he's overdoing it though. Like, I don't know.
Maybe that may be a Frazier thing. It may be like once they replace. I mean, if he continually is doing that, he's been doing it under Frazier the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. So that could be a Frazier thing. It could be a McDermott thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what I go back to in that divisional game was, he's in weird positions at some points during that last couple drives, and that to me is more indicative of the coaching, right? But there's also times where he is overcommitting to one side or another, and I put that squarely on the player. So I see both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get what
I
you're
understand
saying.
I hear you now. I understand. Yeah, he definitely overcommits, and I think we see that. So yeah, that probably.
We'll see how he does this year, I guess. We can make a call in the end of the year and just say, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about him once or twice, probably.
Yeah. Once or twice.
So Poyer, do we all think he's gone?
I don't know.
Well, Edmonds and Poyer are both up at the end of this season, so that's where the Knox contract.
Pick one.
The Knox contract comes in and wipes out one of those guys, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't think they'll have. I don't think they'll have it, because they have other cheaper guys to pay, but they still got to pay them. Singletary's up too. I mean, I don't think he'll be expensive, but
but he'll still get. I think he'll still get a good amount
from someone, maybe. Yeah,
from us. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. I don't think they're gonna have Singletary.
If he wants a good amount, maybe.
If he wants too much, yeah. I mean, why did they draft Cook?
Because he's going into a contract year.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're going to expect Cook to take the starting role in.
Why have they gone younger and younger at almost every draft?
Right.
The past 2 years.
I mean, if they're going to let Singletary go, then I think there is a chance you can keep Edmonds and Poyer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I kind of think Poyer will stay.
Maybe you can get him through the season, and finally get him to like calm down.
Like on social media?
No, just like calm down from like the I need my money. I want to be paid.
Doubt it, but maybe.
Well, I mean, if you can't, then you can't pay him that. If you're the Bills, I mean, you can't pay him top free safety money or strong, whatever freaking place.
Strong. He's he is a top safety though.
I mean, how much of these guys though is their success tied to Buffalo though? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And when they're viewed in the open market, how many are going to sit there and think, okay, well, they weren't that good until they went to Buffalo? And the same could be said for Hyde. You know what I mean? Like, I remember watching Hyde for Green Bay, and he at times was, a liability. And the reason why they got rid of him, and like, I just feel like when those guys come up, they have to realize that,
I loved when they signed Hyde.
You're just as valuable to us as we are to you, basically.
Yeah, I think probably
I liked Hyde too because he was a utility guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right. And so that was very rare. They didn't really have anything like that, and he came in and he took the leadership role, I think, very well, and I think he stepped up. But I remember in Green Bay, he was, there was times where they were questioning whether he would be, continue be the guy there long term. Obviously, they didn't feel that way.
I really felt like they misused him so much. Like they used him as a punt returner. They used him sometimes as a cornerback, sometimes as a safety.
Yeah. Well, the cornerback is when he gets blown out. And I remember him being in corner a few times and being like, yo, what the heck is that?
Right. I was like, leave him at safety because he's good there. The Bills brought him in and were like, hey, he's good there. So,
well, I guess your thinking is he's undersized for a safety, right?
I guess.
I mean, so you put him at.
He doesn't.
No, I'm
not
saying. No, 100%. I'm just saying, like, if I'm Green Bay and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's a little bit on the smaller side. See what he does against a cornerback. Obviously, like, it's two totally different skill sets. But yeah, I mean, that might have been their thinking.
Yeah, and if they were playing man instead of zone, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe his brain is built for, again, I guess it just sort of goes down to you fit where you fit. So with Poyer, then I guess we're thinking half and half right now. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, depending on Singletary's year and Edmonds' year. If they both play, Edmonds can take a step forward and Singletary can play like he did towards the end of last year. I think that will sign the deal for Poyer.
I mean, I just think they have Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson just waiting there to take a spot.
Because I mean, like the type of money he's asking for is probably like around where Bayard, Jackson, Simmons are, and you're talking
Simmons
got
15.2
per, so he's probably going to want more than that. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to give Harrison Smith money because that's $16 million, and everybody scoffed when that happened. But I mean, he's going to want probably more.
A lot older than both of them, right? So not as long of a deal. I just said he's older than both of them, though, right?
Smith?
Yeah, he's 32.
Smith is 32. Poyer's 31.
No, Poyer's 28.
What?
Oh.
That's what it says.
There's no way.
He's been here for 4 years, played Cleveland.
He's 31.
Another 2?
Okay, so spot checks wrong.
Poyer is 31. Okay.
So how many safeties are getting that kind of deal at 31, though?
Harrison Smith. So
that's why everybody hated it, though,
Yep. I was.
That's the problem. I mean, somebody's going to give that to him. That's the other.
Somebody's going to give him the money, and I think that's exactly what Noah just said. Is I just took it right out of his mouth, and but yeah, someone will give him the money somewhere, and he knows it. I mean, he was a first team All-Pro. Hyde has 1 more year left on his contract. I think the Bills are truly just thinking Poyer's 31. We've got Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson lined up. We've been preparing these guys for 2 years now. Jaquan Johnson feels like he's been here for 10 years to me. But we've been preparing these guys for, this is Hamlin's 2nd year. And then I think it's Johnson's 3rd. But I could be wrong about it. I don't know. And then when it comes to that, like, I think they're just saying, here's what's going to happen. These guys are just going to get older and we're going to let them go. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hyde gave them like a hometown discount.
Right.
Like he seems more like a kind of player who's like, who knows he's got it good.
Yeah.
More than Poyer, who's like, I'm going to get my money because I am a first team All-Pro.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hyde, has like, his whole family's here. He has like 2 kids that are in school, I think, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Poyer just has, his wife who's younger and the one younger kid who isn't even in school yet.
Right.
And they mostly live in Miami. So in his Florida house, 90%.
So he'll go to Tampa. Yeah.
Right. Well, Tampa set at safety.
I'm just Florida to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Miami,
Jacksonville
Tampa.
might need a safety. Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta. Who knows?
They'll give him a lot.
Let's list all the teams in the South. You're right.
Who's listening to the other team in Florida?
I know. You did.
Yeah.
Orlando.
Oh, that's basketball. That's sport.
No. So my other thought was, does it put other guys in the roster in a different light? Like guys who might be slightly overpaid right now, who you think the Bills might shave off the roster for a backup?
What do you mean?
Like somebody who's a backup now. Like we know, like Saffold and Quisenberry are both on 1-year deals, right? But like we also know, like I don't know.
I feel like they do want to move on from Morse, but like they haven't found anyone
I don't think they
that's
do.
suitable.
I really don't think they do. I mean, they signed him to that 3-year extension modification.
Yeah, that lowered his cap.
And then he did it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna screw around with him. And he said he wants to retire a Bill.
Yeah. Which I could see happening sooner rather than
later. I mean, if he gets another concussion,
that's true.
what does he have reason to stay around for? Especially if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, when they win the Super Bowl, like he'll have a ring. You know.
Speaking of that, do we feel that this is warranted? Because the thing seems to be in the media,
everyone's picking the Bills.
Well, not that everybody's picking the Bills, but that now the narrative is, well, do the Bills really belong to have this amount of attention to be at the top?
I haven't seen that.
To be Bill Simmons did it, Pablo Torre, and whoever did it.
Good.
So there's a new narrative forming is that, you know, the Bills have kind of been pre-crowned, and do they actually deserve it? And the biggest thing seems to be is that we didn't beat Kansas City last year. That seems to be everybody's talking point. You're muted. There we go.
And we feel the same way here. You know what I'm saying? Like, our biggest drawback is Kansas City. We all know that. You know what I mean? Like, but you also have to take into consideration what happened with Kansas City over the offseason. You know, if we lost Diggs, are we still considered the top front runner? It's questionable. You know what I mean? Right. So that's what happened to them. So they lost their top receiver, and, you know, Kelsey's getting, and so eventually there's going to be a passing of the guard, and, you know, somebody else has got to be the top. You know, the KC has been it for the past 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, eventually something's got to turn.
This seems like the window to hop in. It's
it's
either Buffalo or Cincinnati.
Right. And we are still of the mind state that, you know, we will not get there until we can beat Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, pretty much as long as we can beat them, we'll be fine.
Or what if someone else beats them, and then we can just work around it?
I'm fine with that too.
Me too.
But I also feel
how often has that happened though?
Right.
Yeah. But I also feel like them getting this amount of recognition, you know, being the top Super Bowl, the most bet on team, you know, to win the Super Bowl, having the best odds to win the Super Bowl. I also feel like that is warranted.
It is warranted.
Like, I don't care that we didn't beat Kansas City. Like, it's not like we got destroyed.
No, we would have dog walked.
We lost on a coin flip after going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
Like, Josh Allen established himself as
well, and that's why he's
the
MVP.
QBs.
That's why he's the MVP front runner.
Right, which I also think is warranted as well. And I think, I mean, you know, you don't have the playoffs that you had where you are perfect.
I mean,
in all aspects.
I mean, Gabe Davis was the sleeper pick of everyone's draft. Right?
I guess just like, I don't understand why it wouldn't be.
Is Von Miller not the biggest free agent acquisition of the offseason, like of all the teams?
I mean, to come to us, yes.
No, I think of anyone.
Well, I think like if he went to Dallas, though, like he was saying, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I don't think him going to Dallas is as big.
But you put him above like all the other free agent guys like Jackson and trying to think of who else was ranked in the top of those free agent guys.
I think it's a huge signing. I think it's a huge signing just because it is Von Miller. Like in that aspect. Like, yeah, absolutely. Everybody was basically waiting on him. You know, everybody was wanting to know where he was going to go.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, if he went to Dallas, I don't think that would make them
that much better.
I don't know how to say this exactly, so it's going to sound weird, but I don't think him going to Dallas would make them as better as it is going to.
You're saying basically that you're saying that if he went there, that it wouldn't change Dallas's chances of winning a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. So that's fine.
I don't think it changes it. I think for us, like, we were there, but I think adding Von Miller is that extra, like, that final piece where it's like, this is a Super Bowl roster. I don't
That's
think
what I
if
was
he were to
gonna
go
get
to
at.
Dallas or anywhere else,
Yep.
you would say that.
But didn't
I mean,
either Dallas had two ends, and one of them they re-signed, and then the other one went to Denver. I think they kept DeMarcus Lawrence and let Dexter
Smith.
No.
Yeah, they kept Lawrence.
They kept Lawrence.
Yeah.
And they let another one go to Denver. And so if they would have signed Miller would have been, oh, you're replacing so and so, whoever it was, with Von Miller. That's a pretty heavy improvement because how many players out there?
Yeah, but that's my point.
Does he not improve over?
But that's my point. Is he is though going like if he were to go to Dallas, right? He would be replacing the guy who left, and that's all he would be doing. Here, he's not replacing anybody. He's adding. He's adding to a defense that was already number one. That's my point. So to be able to get someone like that onto your roster when you were already good is my is where I'm going with that. Like
Dallas was
I
number
don't
one
think,
last year.
No, the Bills he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Randy Gregory is who I
Way
was
off.
thinking of.
Oh, yes. Okay.
right. So if Von Miller were to sign there, he would be replacing Gregory.
Right.
Von Miller isn't coming here to replace anybody. He's coming here to add.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming here to be an extra piece.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to be another piece in
On
the
top
system.
of all the other guys,
right.
Lawson. I don't want to put Settle on there, but
Lawson,
you know,
Epinesa,
Go ahead.
Oliver.
I think Settle is going to be.
I put another free agent guy that I think is going to be overlooked is
Jaquan Jones.
No, the big guy that came back, Phillips, Adrian. Is that his name?
Jordan.
Jordan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's huge, and so these are guys who have already, both those guys, Lawson and Phillips, both left and decided to come back, because and the only point I wanted to make on the predictions and why the things are so high, or why our odds are so high, is also because of like you said, the roster. What other team has brought that many acquisitions, high-end acquisitions, and already had such a solid core of players already? I just don't think there's a team in the league that did better than we did, that already has that center group of guys and added to, the pieces that, were most needed, or just took value because people wanted to come here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like maybe not, Lawson might not have been needed, right? Von Miller might not have been 100% needed, but they're like, we can't pass on that value, for a guy that just wants to play with us, and I think
you sign him to a 6-year contract, a guy who's like already 32.
Well, there's ways to get out of it though.
That's
right?
just yes, obviously there is ways to get out of it, but I'm just saying
though.
You still signed him to an extremely long contract. You're obviously thinking
it's though we've talked about this.
Here.
It's a 3-year deal.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, they can get out of it. Right. I know that. I'm just saying you still signed this guy long term thinking he's gonna be here.
Yeah. So let's talk game.
Okay, let's talk game.
Bills Rams. Super Bowl preview.
Could be.
I'm super excited. I'm so excited. I spent probably 20 minutes breaking down the matchups and everything for my girlfriend last night. It's like, I'm sure she didn't want to hear it for a half hour, but I was just like, And then we got 2 quarterbacks. One's a rookie. One didn't play well last year. Like I'm making it out to be this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen, dude? You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen? Is Josh gonna have to run a lot because of X, Y, and Z? And do we want to start the year with Josh running 90 rushing yards? You know what I mean? But to take over, and I'm going so hard. So I'm ready for this.
Well, we already know there's no Van Jefferson, so that's huge. That instantly limits who Stafford can throw to. Kupp, Higbee.
Anderson.
Yeah. And then to my question in the group chat, Does anybody think that Robinson becomes a must start in fantasy because
Robinson. Yes,
Robinson.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So then
I
there's Robinson.
like him against Elam and you know what I mean? I think the wide receivers are going to eat. But yeah.
I mean, I would even consider like possibly Brandon Powell if you're looking deep for a
Who's that?
receiver. He's
third
like
string
WR4. Yeah.
I think they said I'm going to butcher this.
Sourneck.
Sourneck?
Sourneck. Yeah, he's 4.
Okay.
That he'll take that spot of Jefferson tomorrow.
Okay.
I've seen him play before and he hasn't, really impressed. But
here's the thing. I mean, I feel confident, and not just like in the way of the fan. Like I don't. You have a banged up Stafford, and yes, you don't know the full extent to that. But I mean, like maybe you hit him, you get him off a little bit, and maybe. And then if you're forcing him to throw, how long can that elbow stay up for? Especially when you came this close to needing Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
Like,
yep. Oh God, don't get me started.
I mean, if they're able to get the rotation that we think, and they're able to get these guys, and they're able to just stop Akers and force Stafford to just throw, sure, he might rack up the yards, but I just don't see them being productive consistently all night if they have to use Stafford's arm all night.
Well, okay, so I'm just going to say, like, the problem on the Rams side is their offensive line. That's the strength,
right,
for the Bills, right?
Yeah.
The problem's on the
Bills
defensive line. I mean, going up against their defensive line is a strength.
The Bills' defensive line going up against the Rams
offensive line.
Right, yeah, because that's right. Their offensive line is worse now because they had that right tackle retire, Wentworth, and they lost somebody else to like 2 other guys as well, I think.
Right.
So
they're really bad. Yeah, I mean they're not good. But I mean, Brian Allen's their center. He's really good. But other than him, they're pretty reaching out there. From that standpoint, the Bills have the advantage, right? From a passing standpoint, it is helpful that Van Jefferson went down.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 rookies and Dane Jackson at corner.
With Hyde and Poyer over the top, who can only do so much. Yeah,
right.
I know. But I mean, I think
the
wide receivers might eat, but I just don't see. I just see this being a very bend don't break game. Like I don't see Stafford being able to consistently just drop 30-yard bombs all game and just being able to just throw these deep balls consistently. Like I really think the Bills.
But that's not Cooper Kupp's game.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's game though is like that 15 to 20. I don't see Stafford being able to consistently being able to hit that. I mean, if his elbow isn't there, I just don't know. I mean, this again comes down to the stuff that we talked about last year. The defensive line has to get pressure. If you get that pressure, and I think if you're able to get Stafford moving,
I think we could say right now we will definitely get pressure. You know what I mean? Like with Miller, I'd say, I think you can't even question it right now.
God.
Yeah, I honestly, I think we need to be confident in that will be the case.
And if there's a game Miller may want to show up for, it might be
true.
It might be his first game against the team he just played for.
Oh my God.
I mean,
whether he shows up in the stats, I just know that will leave opportunities for other guys along the line. So that's, you know what I mean? Like even if he doesn't put up a lot, his presence out there will make other guys flash or do something crazy, Yeah. I mean, it's arguably the best offensive minded coach versus the best defensive minded coach, right? I mean, Tomlin's up there, defensive wise. I'm trying to think of another head coach that would go, but I mean, success rate wise, everything. Belichick, right? Obviously, I got to put him in there. But yeah, I mean,
Harbaugh.
Yep. So like but I think McDermott is, easily one of the best, if not, could be considered top 5. You know what I mean? And defensive minded, and so that's a very interesting concept. When you think about matchups and you think about what that means for the game.
Well, that'll be interesting, like against Green Bay as well, because I put LaFleur right there with McVay. But
yeah,
not to go off topic. Go ahead.
No. The only reason I said something about Josh's rushing was because I just kind of looked at it like they will be able to score, and like me knowing how Josh plays, like I just got a feeling that he's gonna feel that like if we're gonna win this game, I gotta make these plays, and I gotta do this not myself, but he can. I mean, I
agree.
I think
something special is going to happen. That's just the way it is.
Let's just go back to what we were talking about earlier, though. Like, he is the front runner by a long shot for MVP for a reason, right? I mean, I was watching. Did I send you the video or show you the video of the?
I don't know.
Of the all the guys, all the people of from NFL Countdown, I think, on the NFL Network, they were doing their picks, and it was like,
what were they picking MVP?
They were picking Super Bowl winners.
Oh, and it was all
us. It was all Bills. It was like 6 straight people, all Bills, and then they picked the Bills against like their team who they used to play, but it was like Mariucci picked them against the 49ers, Irvin picked them against Dallas, Kurt Warner picked them against the Rams.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, this goes back to.
But to have every single one, and Rich Eisen picked them, and Cynthia Freeland picked them. She knows her stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I know. Oh. She just loves us too.
Yeah. But
not terrible looking either. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say.
And there was
another the preseason,
There was another one who picked them as well.
Yeah, I mean it's warranted. I mean this is it. This is our team. I mean, obviously I wasn't alive, but like, with the stuff I'm seeing, was there this much hype? Like, has a team been this hyped?
Yes.
Were those 90 teams this hyped?
Yes.
Like to the point. Okay.
Not after the first one, but the first team was.
Okay.
The first team definitely was. Because they were just ready, and it was like.
And that's the way it feels
Bills
now.
Are ready to take off. Like
that's the way I feel right now. And I feel like with this first game, like, yeah, it might come to a shootout, and they might win by 1 point, but I still think they're gonna win. I don't see them losing. I don't care if it's by 1 point or they win by 50. I still think they're going to win.
They're going to be the favorite in every game they go into as long as they stay healthy, right?
I would think so.
There's no reason for them not to be. If everyone is picking them now, if they're the betting favorite, if Josh Allen is
right, unless they come out in this first game and they lay a goose egg, which I don't see happening. Like I just because like that's
they play in week 2. Like I don't even
Tennessee at home Monday night.
That's the home opener.
Okay,
but that's the home opener.
Home opener. So you're getting 3 right on the odds already. I mean, they're going to be favored.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the other part of this is, we sit here and we say how much talent they have, and that's the other part of it is if this is true and they're putting it all together and this is great and oh my God, the stuff we're seeing in training camp and it comes together, I don't see how they don't win. Like, I don't even
care.
They're
going to lose some games this year, right?
I don't think they're going to be undefeated. They're definitely going to lose some games. Every single team's going to lose some games. I mean, I don't think we'll see an undefeated season for a long time. But like, if the Bills were to go into their buys in like what, week 8? I mean, if they
7, 8,
if they were to walk into that bye completely undefeated, I would not bat an eyelash. That
Actually,
would not surprise me.
The harder part of their schedule is up front.
Yeah, but I still,
they could go in at 4-3.
Right, and your losses will probably be to what, Tennessee,
and
Kansas
then go
City?
on like a 7-3 run or whatever it would be, or 8-2 kind of run, because the harder part of their schedule to me is up front.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at if you go into like those first games, though, I mean, okay, yeah, you have this one against the Rams, which you don't have obviously anything behind except for maybe Von Miller. But then, yeah, you have a Titans game where you lost last year on a 4th down. You're facing the Dolphins.
I mean, the Titans are another one of
those.
The Titans are another one of those teams, right? Who the Bills kind of need to.
They need to beat.
They need to like break.
Yeah. Prove that they're
like break a Titans curse or something.
Yep.
I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if their bye is in week 7, and they face, and it's Rams, Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. I wouldn't be surprised if they walked into that week 7 bye 6-0. Like, that would not surprise me.
That is a tough schedule to me. I mean,
they know how to beat Lamar Jackson. They know how to beat Miami. I'm not that worried about Miami unless they show something and then, yeah, okay, Tennessee is worrying, but again, you should have won that game last year. I mean, you lost.
Beat Kansas City. I mean,
they did beat Kansas. I mean, they beat Kansas City in the regular season last year.
Right. I have just a tough time saying.
I know
they can beat the Rams, Titans, Ravens, and Kansas City. I mean, I'm throwing out Pittsburgh and Miami because even though they'll probably both be somewhat credible, I have a hard time thinking they'll beat all 4 of those. If they go into that 6-0, the hype on them is gonna be ridiculous.
I know, but I wouldn't. It would not shock me because that's how good I think this team is, and that's how good I think this team can be. I don't see how this team doesn't average 40 points a game. I don't see how this team doesn't get a ridiculous amount of sacks. I don't see them getting a lot of interceptions because they seem to kind of gotten away from being that type of team where they're like give interception, but like I don't know if it comes together the way it seems to be and the way we think it's going to. I don't know how we don't have a top defense again, and we don't have a top offense, and we're rolling. We're just rolling teams.
Right. So let's talk about the Rams again for a second, because Cooper Kupp is obviously their top weapon, right? Cam Akers is number 2.
I think he's number 2 in importance of who you have to stop, because you can't let Akers run all over you.
I think he's the kind of running back though who they do okay against.
Yeah, we say that, and then
no, I do. Well, you're talking like a bend don't break, right?
Yeah, which I think is going to be very big in this game, because like I don't think they're going to force a lot of 3 and out. I mean, I'm not saying that the Rams are bad. I mean, I think the final score of this game could literally be 45-42, and like Bass wins it for us on a walk-off kick. Like, that's the way I'm thinking this game goes. So, like, I'm not thinking, we blow out the Rams by any stretch of the imagination, or like this game honestly doesn't hit the over, which I think is 52.5.
Yeah.
So, like, I expect a high-scoring game. I expect, honestly, both defenses to look bad. I am always going to be worried about Aaron Donald, but like the thing that makes me feel good is the last time you played him, and yeah, it was a different offensive line, but it's still mostly the same guys. You were mostly able to contain him.
And that's where I think Morse comes in.
Yeah.
Because he's very important to guys like that Well, there's no one like Aaron Donald, but to guys,
Yeah.
to Aaron Donald, I'm
Right.
gonna just say that.
Well, I mean, like
the Morse
Morse,
Aaron Donald matchup, and
it's the IQ. It's Morse's IQ. I
Yeah.
mean, his ability to be able to literally like know where everybody is supposed to line up and like have the playbook memorized better than anybody else. Like,
Mhm.
He knows what he's doing, and he's played against Donald in Kansas City, so I mean, he knows his tendencies, but the Bills should too. They're on tape. Get him angry, make him throw a helmet, get him kicked out. He'll start wielding two like he did in that practice.
So another good thing, right? The Rams lost Leonard Floyd. Is that right? I feel like I heard that earlier this week, and it's in the back of my head.
I don't see anything.
Nothing?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I must be
You just
thinking of
made that
something
up.
else. I did.
You just completely made that up.
That's crazy. Okay. No, that's real. That's so weird because I was so convinced that they lost Leonard Floyd and that the depth chart I was looking at. I'm wondering who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, I mean, there hasn't been. Oh, wait. August 9th, though.
Oh.
Yeah, so, okay, they're not, and it says they're not too worried. So, I don't know. Yeah, so we're going to go back to you were having a senior moment. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so Akers.
Well, CJ, what do you agree with my take on Donald? I mean, are you at the same rate I am nervous just because it's Donald?
I mean, yeah, I'm nervous because it's Donald. I think we've played him a few times in the past, and if I'm being honest, I thought that the line held pretty well against him, from what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if he had a lot of stats. I mean, he's always disruptive,
Right.
Yeah.
And your run game is going to be
problematic.
Yeah, it's going to have a hard time.
Well,
right?
You got to have the burst. I mean, you have to do a one step, get out, make sure you know where he is, and go the other way.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I think this might be a really good game for Singletary to cement himself because he has that jump cut.
I don't know that it cements
5
him,
a clip every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it cements Singletary, but I think it does.
Put him in quicksand or something.
No. I'm saying like it.
Erasable pen.
No, I don't think it's cementing. I think they're going to go with different running backs based on each situation. I think situationally, it will probably cement him for his game based on the way he runs.
That's true.
Unless Cook comes out and is some kind of revelation.
Right. He's just like outrunning guys.
Right.
Which I could see.
Which could happen. You just don't know. I mean, he broke off a couple 20-yard runs in the preseason.
Are you still not sold on Cook, CJ?
No, not yet. Definitely not. I mean, no. We'll see what happens in real live action. I think he's a lot smaller than his brother, to be honest.
Yeah.
Cousin. Aren't they cousins or brothers?
I think they're brothers.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, I'm fine with him as a purely receiving option for now, and he's gonna have to really show me something to say I think he should run between the tackles.
That's fair. So we're worried about Robinson. I mean, you have to just worry about both receivers.
Yeah.
Just because, again, we've talked about Robinson sort of ad nauseum, just in the sense of how he.
Anytime touchdown scorer, I'd take that bet for him. I'd also take Gabe Davis to go over his yards. His yards are like 60.
Cool. There's some betting tips for you folks. Ding. So on defense, okay, besides Aaron Donald, okay, they signed Sean Robinson. They run a 3-4. I think they switched to a 3-4 this year. I feel like they did.
I feel like isn't Floyd a linebacker who
yeah,
plays on the line? So that would mean they've always been in a 3-4.
I thought Miller was playing end last year, not.
I swore Floyd was on the line, but maybe not. Go ahead.
No, Floyd's linebacker this year.
Right, but I swore Floyd always lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Which would mean it was a 3-4.
I think he was the linebacker though that plays in like that 3-4.
No, because they list Ashawn Robinson as a defensive end, and then they list a nose tackle and a defensive tackle. They list Greg Gaines and Donald as the defensive tackle.
Right, but in a 3-4, doesn't the linebacker come up on the line or no?
Yeah. Sometimes as a DN.
Not
Sometimes.
Most times, I thought.
As the other one.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I kind of
No,
thought.
I think they were running a 3-4. I think they were doing like the hybrid thing though. I think they were doing like
he runs
a
definitely
3-4-4-3. So I think
like, and Floyd's definitely not in every
4-3-4
down.
4-3-3-4 3-5-2.
what?
Is that the other one?
5-2. Well, yeah. If you're playing Madden, that's what they are. You skip 3-3.
Well, I'm just saying. I know they didn't have Floyd out there during like obvious run situations. He's usually out there when you're. So you're probably right in that they're doing a 3-4 for run base. They're going to have 3 guys on the line, and then the linebackers not on the line. But when they're trying to blitz, they probably bring that 4th linebacker up, right?
Yeah.
And then so
Yeah, that works. They also added Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, which will be interesting. He's a great defensive player. I think again that's tough on the run.
Yep.
So I
mean, as long as he still has his step, right? They're in good shape. As long as
he's got a good nose. He knows where to be at in the hole.
I mean, if you could give Edmonds his sensibilities.
Let's just take Bobby Wagner and put him in Edmonds' body.
Cut the brain out. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, put the brain in Edmonds and go from there.
God.
Yeah. Woo. That's the perfect linebacker right there.
Put Tom Brady's brain in like Brock Osweiler's body.
Then everybody would say that
his contract was worth it.
Well, I just think how fun it would be to do. Keep going with it and just
Who was the guy in Denver who drafted him?
Elway?
Elway, yeah. Everybody would finally say Elway is a genius and doesn't just love tall quarterbacks for no reason.
Yeah, it was rough. He had rough.
He was just like, "You're tall, okay."
Yeah. After Peyton, he had a rough time.
Yeah. 3 straight, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A rough time.
And I guess really to me, their last weapon on defense, of course, is Jalen Ramsey. Did you have someone else?
Do they still have Rap?
I would
put
their safeties are good. Rap and Hill.
Rap is good.
But I know Rap is.
Hill is their nickelback.
Okay, then who's their other safety?
Nick Scott.
Oh yeah, I don't know about him, but Taylor Rapp I'll put up there as a potential guy to watch out for.
Okay.
All right.
They let go of Johnny Hecker.
Yeah, but like, does any of this scare either one of you guys? Like, is there anything here where you're sitting there going, "Okay, the Bills. Oh God, I don't know."
Like they're gonna overwhelm them or something.
Well, not just that. Is there? But
I think I look at it and go.
I
think I look at it and go, they can hang.
Right. So I mean, like, I don't feel like there's any part of that roster where I'm going, well, if they're not able to contain, like, if they're not able to do this, then they're screwed.
Well, let's go back to what we were saying, right? If Los Angeles doesn't get or isn't able to contain the Bills' pass rush, they're screwed. Let's say they're screwed for the first half until they make until they make
18 different adjustments.
Yeah. Right. And hopefully the Bills would adjust as well. And then
hopefully
if
Unless you got Marv Levy. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean,
No,
I
you're
don't.
right.
I don't think
It was
I mean,
always a problem.
there's nothing there where I'm going. The Bills can't do that, or the Bills can't beat that, or the Bills can't contain that.
I just worry about the corners. That's it.
Yeah. I think they'll be able to throw against us. So I think that'll lead into us having to throw against them. I don't think we'll run very much. And if we do run, it'll be Josh. And, that's kind of how I look at it. Again, I'm going back to, I think it's going to be one of those games where run game's not working, pass game's working, but obviously you're not going to have pass lanes the whole time. So it's going to be Josh taking off when he feels like it, not planned runs, but just him, doing his thing. And I think we'll live and die on that, to be honest, but that's me.
Yeah. We'll live and die
I guess
on Josh.
that makes sense.
Well, you know what I mean? Like on that.
No, I mean, it really makes
sense. If there's a fumble that happens or he runs it in for 2 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? Like
Donald makes something. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's also the thing on defense too, is those guys, because of Donald up front,
Donald Miller.
He could force. You could force you could force Allen to make a throw, and Ramsey could just undercut it or just be waiting on it, and that line kind of would force him into that. So I kind of can see that happening, but it's going to be a matter of us having to do the same thing to them on defense. So if we can get a sack fumble, obviously multiple sacks, but a sack fumble strip, that would be huge tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I see that happening for the Bills. So yeah, it's crazy, but yeah.
I mean, how genuinely scared of having Elam and Benford are you guys? I mean, like, I'm scared just because they're rookies, but I mean, like, I thought they showed enough in the preseason for me to go, okay, maybe they'll give up a lot of passing yards until Trey gets back, but I don't know if we'll give up a lot of big plays.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
I think we'll give up a bunch of targets, but I don't see like anybody really being able to consistently hit deep shots. I don't know. I don't know.
I think they'll set you up, but
I think Elam and Benford will hang better than we think they will. I think Elam will, at least.
I feel like Benford is the better corner for this game.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's where I mean, Elam overall is going to be the better corner.
Yes.
Right? It's not saying Benford's bad or going to be bad or anything, but I think for this game, the way that what we've seen in the preseason is Elam trying to jump every ball and be Trayvon Diggs, where Benford has been a lot more thoughtful about his process and, even a little more physical.
Yeah.
Benford, when we saw him,
he's really physical.
He looked really big on the field.
Yeah.
But I mean, he seemed like he didn't want to get beat, which goes back to your bend don't break. But I think that's what they need for this game. They don't need a route jumper, or a guy who's going to.
Yeah, but
I think you're going to give them the underneath stuff, and they're going to eat on that. Though.
I think, and I think they're honestly just going to do that until Trey gets back. Give them all the underneath stuff. Just let them throw all day, 5-10 yard. Who cares?
Well, I think this offense, if you can force them to stay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, till Trey gets back, and then we'll see what happens.
And then I'm expecting, 15 interceptions in 3 games. So
from Trey,
from everybody,
15 overall. So
24 hours. Woo!
24 hours.
Oof. Football is back.
Football is back. What's today's date?
The 7th. Did she lose?
No, she's playing right now.
Jesse Pagula is playing right now.
Jessica Pagula is
losing?
playing in quarters.
Oh, she's
down.
playing sweet. Oh, she might win that though.
That's the number 1 seed she's playing. She lost the first set 6-3. She's tied at 2s in the second set.
And she has advantage.
So, but she's serving. So she's had a nice run. No, she has. This has been a
she
great
definitely.
run
I mean, this
for
is the
her.
first. This is the first time she's ever gotten this far in anything.
Right.
I think so. And she beat Coco.
No,
she beat somebody. Who did she beat?
Kvitova was her highest.
Yeah.
Her highest win. Kvitova is won Wimbledon twice. She's
And then there's the American Tinefo on the men's side.
Yeah.
Who won again.
Yes. And he's
and that's awesome.
Blazing a trail.
He's 25.
Yeah, he's fun to watch too.
Yeah. Did you see Kyrgios literally like
did he win or lose?
He lost. He lost to Tinefo.
Oh, really?
I think.
No, he was just playing someone yesterday.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
But so when Kyrgios lost, he took his racket and slammed it on the court and then threw it, and then took another one and slammed it on the bench and then threw it.
Kachanov. Yeah, I was watching for a little while.
Kyrgios
he could have been so good.
Kyrgios could have won this.
No, he could have been in his life.
Oh,
if he wasn't such a head case. He is so talented.
Yeah, he is.
And such an athletic freak. He could have been so good.
Well, anyway, I mean that's all I have to say about the Bills and the Rams game. I don't know. I think the Bills win. I'm confident, not just like a fan, but truly confident with what we have and what the Rams are bringing to the table. I don't see how the Bills don't win. Might be by 2 points, but a win's a win. And I still think they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
They're gonna win. Win.
Do we want to add anything?
One thing that I liked was that the Bills kept Jameis and Crowder when they did cut downs. I think that adds a huge piece to their offense.
It's just another weapon. It's another person to slide into there to be like, oh, maybe we can throw something different. Because I mean, Crowder and McKenzie are similar. But I still think though that McKenzie does bring they each bring something different. Like when I think of Crowder, I think of that silky smooth route runner.
Yeah.
Just kind of just running his way open. When I think of McKenzie, I think of this just straight speed, run it by you kind of guy. But I think that might change this year with McKenzie because I mean that was his bread and butter last year.
Slot.
So
yeah, I mean he's starting in the slot.
Just the arcing routes across the field where he would just run by everybody and Josh would just hit him for 15, 20 yards.
Right. So I just wanted to put that in. Who are you sitting?
For what?
Fantasy?
No. Who I mean, you have to. What do you have to sit? 5 guys?
Yeah, I bet. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat Shakir.
Okay.
One of their guys. Cam Lewis.
They're not sitting. Did you say Cam Lewis?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a weird choice. I don't think they're sitting any of their defensive backs, to be honest.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I mean, Sweeney's probably going to be out. Quentin Morris is probably going to be out, so that's 2. But I mean, with Crowder coming, that's the reason I don't.
Well, and Doyle's hurt,
right? And Doyle. So that's Doyle, Morris, right? Doyle and Morris are hurt, so that's 2.
Shaq Lawson?
Maybe.
I would think it Basham.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it was Basham again.
Spectre?
I don't know because of special teams.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Did Does
Matakevich.
Matakevich play out special teams?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, so maybe Spectre or maybe even somebody, I don't know. They'll probably do somebody weird too. But I mean,
Yeah,
also,
somebody you don't expect.
yeah, that'll probably
Yeah, maybe
be.
Cam Lewis actually makes sense.
I just don't see like why.
Because Saron Neal can play inside and outside. And
Yeah. And you would need 3 safeties to get hurt. Or, well, you would need all 4 safeties to get hurt before you're even thinking about plugging him in, I think.
well, you would switch not Teron, Dane Jackson to safety, and
Right.
then
have him. But that's worst case scenario.
worst case scenario when all 4 of your safeties get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, that's always the thing in the preseason where it's like it's always if every single one of our starters got hurt, we would be so screwed.
Well, no, you just think about I was thinking about it earlier. We were talking about barring injuries, this team should be yada yada yada, and I just felt like barring a Baltimore level injury year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that last year for them was just
like when I was saying that, I'm like to a big guy,
Like
like
oh yeah.
Diggs
Well,
or Allen.
I just think that
Allen
Baltimore
played
last year lost to everybody during, Lamar
Yeah.
during the year, started off with Peters,
Yeah.
Edwards, Dobbins, keep going, you know what I mean? And so like, as long as we don't have that, yeah, we'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I think our training staff is too good also. Like, I think we have to give credit where credit is due, in that we have had one of the best records as far as injuries and stuff like that going back for the past couple of years. And that means that our guys are being taken care of. And I think that goes a long way. So I think we'll be fine as far as that goes. You know what I mean? Like, we have to have confidence because they've done it the past couple of years where guys have not really been getting hurt.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, I mean, and
and your
have
players also say, "Oh, the facilities are the reason."
facilities.
No,
Yeah.
we're known to be, like, I want to say ranked as, if not, number one in the faculty we have, the amount of time they put into it. Just, you know what I mean? Everything. Like, they're just one of the premier teams
it's
as
so
far as.
good. It's forcing Jerry Jones to make a whole new practice facility 4 or 5 years after making the practice facility that they already have.
Well, the Jones and the Pagulas have gotten close. Did you know
wow.
that they're tight?
Well, honestly,
The
that's kind of
Pagulas-
good.
The Pagulas are using Jones's group as part of their
That's right, as the surveyors
review,
or whatever.
I mean, they were close. What weren't him and Ralph always close though?
I don't think so.
No, they were like
they
opposite
hated each other because
pots.
Really?
Ralph
So
wanted-
Davis then? It was
Davis, yeah, because they
Okay.
started the AFC together.
yes.
with-
all right. That's
with,
sorry about that. Okay, you're right.
The guy from Miami.
But I mean, Jones
Okay.
kind of runs the league, like runs the owners. So like, it's kind of good that they're like buds, because then like
Right.
maybe they'll never leave.
But the thing about, well, I mean, the Pagulas have said as long as they're owners, the Bills aren't leaving.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And then they're going to lock him into
we
a
also
20-year
don't-
contract on a new stadium.
we talked about this last week, but we also still have yet to know where Kim Pegula is.
Oh, I
I
know.
did see something about the Pagulas. There was an article where it mentioned the Pagulas. And I was like, huh. That was a good thing in my head. Like,
You didn't see her at the tennis match?
No, I don't think they were there. There was something though where I was reading it and they were just like, and it mentioned like both of them in a sentence, or somebody mentioned them in
Like seeing them
in
together.
a quote or something, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good thing. That's helpful.
Mhm. Yeah.
Cool.
So in other news,
Yeah. What else do you got for us? before we get
Pat
outta here?
McAfee, sports celebrity. What
Yeah.
do we call him?
I call him a sport. Yeah, I just call him a celebrity. I mean, he's a celebrity.
Pat
I mean, he's been on
McAfee is joining
WWE.
ESPN College Game Day.
Podcaster? Oh, cool.
That is awesome. That's awesome. I like that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That will just
I'll actually
amp
want to
up-
watch College Game Day now.
that will amp up. College Game Day was great before, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
so
got like
good.
super
Lee
campy
Corso,
now.
Lee Corso is old.
Lee Corso,
Yeah, I
carries
love
that
him.
show because he's so old and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But they, oh my god, I think it was Kirk Herbstreit and like two other guys, and they go to use like this big board, and it like did something, and Kirk Herbstreit goes on live TV. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, I saw that. He was like, "Oh shit!"
He was like, "Oh shit! Oh snap!"
Yeah, I saw that clip.
Oh, that was so good. But
And in final news, Marvel has Disney has their D23 exhibit coming up, or conference, or whatever it's called.
but in a new Spider-Man video
for-
game. Oh my god.
2023. Disney 2023. Part of Disney is Marvel.
And
As-
ESPN.
And
Fox.
ESPN and ABC and
Yeah,
Fox.
oh,
not
not
Fox.
Fox. ABC.
ABC.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Expo, D23
The
Expo.
Yeah, because DC has, well, I mean, there's like the DC, there's like all these expos now. And you know what's interesting that started it was PlayStation. When COVID happened, PlayStation said that they wouldn't be attending, I think it was E3, and they said we're going to do our own event. And so now that, since that's happened, all these like different expos and all these different stuff has popped up. Well, I know that there has been, but I'm just saying, like, it's become more prevalent now, and people attribute it to that because PlayStation was like, we're not coming to E3, we're hosting our own. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
So big news coming out. Whoops. Being reported by Emmett Kennedy, who is a fairly reliable source, that Marvel Studios has signed, well, as it says, epic talent for Phase 5.
That is some epic talent.
John Boyega, Henry Cavill, Jodie Comer, Daisy Edgar Jones, John Krasinski, Giancarlo Esposito,
who John's gonna play,
and Denzel Washington.
Uh-huh.
Huge names in acting industry. You know, every single one of these actors have incredible talent and acting chops, as well as big backgrounds. The female actors don't have as wide of backgrounds, but they are both very, very talented. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. We already know we can assume John Krasinski is playing
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. Giancarlo Esposito has been personally
championing
himself to be the next Professor X in X-Men. Two rumors about Henry Cavill is he's either going to play Captain Britain, or their version of Superman, and I can never remember his name.
Man Super.
No, it's something really weird. He's blue and yellow, and if
Bumblebee
you
Man.
just Google Superman, and you'll see it.
Hyperion,
yeah.
Mark Milton. That is such a Anyway,
he was literally made. They're like, we're just gonna make a guy who's our version of Superman. That's literally what Marvel did, and they're like,
well, I mean, Marvel.
And they came up with Hyperion,
Iron Man, Batman,
right?
You know, Captain America, and
right,
whoever in DC,
right. So
Arrow,
those are some of the
something.
rumors. No idea on Denzel. Haven't heard anything.
Did we know about Denzel even before this? Like that was a shock, right? Because like I don't remember.
My thought is possibly as a Kang, one of the Kangs.
Yeah. Well, isn't John Boyega coming in as a Kang?
I don't know.
Nobody knows anything.
I know. I think and both of the women are being rumored for Fantastic Four and
Sue Storm, right?
Sue Storm.
It's either one of them. Yeah, that would be fine. Whatever. It'll probably be. I think that's Jodie Comer at the top, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it'll be her.
Yeah. So exciting news. Very exciting.
I mean, yeah, those are fantastic actors to add.
Fantastic actors.
But yeah, I mean, those are great guys and gals to add to the Marvel universe.
So what's interesting is Henry Cavill is doing reshoots for The Flash and then leaving DC.
Yeah, did you hear about this, CJ? Like, you're gonna want to see the Flash movie, right? Where he's going back in time, and there's gonna be Michael Keaton and all that. You remember talking about
Michael
that?
Keaton, like as Batman.
He's as Batman.
Yeah.
He's plays a huge part in this movie. Like he's in half the movie.
Oh wow!
So the guy who's running HBO now, that's killing everything on HBO,
Warner
said,
Brothers.
Yeah, whatever. Said that he doesn't deserve respect, in my opinion. Said
Doesn't
that
what?
he likes in the movie.
Deserve respect, but
Look at what he's doing.
well, you say he was running Warner Brothers because HBO doesn't run DC,
but
Warner Brothers does.
I know. Whatever.
Warner Brothers runs HBO.
Yeah, the guy running Warner Brothers, he said that he liked them. He told the directors that he liked the movie, but that they needed to add in scenes and needed to do reshoots to make it better.
That's what he told them. Yeah. He's also the guy ruining CNN, but
and he came in and said that he wants to create a DC universe exactly like Marvel and copy their Marvel universe instead of
he wants to do a 10-year timeline because he
yeah.
came up with that on his own idea.
Instead of doing what they were initially going to do, which was just single movies. Just have movies. Not have timelines. I mean, maybe they'll interact with each other, but it won't be like it'll be like a universe, but it won't be the way Marvel was. It would just be just one-off movies. You'll throw it
except for Super Friends. Yeah.
Well, they've been struggling to keep up with Marvel, and so you knew they were going to try to eventually try to do something similar to them.
Right.
But I really can't stand that Flash actor.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Apparently the movie is getting the highest grades any DC movie has ever received.
I'll see it just because it's a Flash movie and it's super, you know what I mean? But I
think the movie's gonna be good. I mean, I'll buy in with the reports, but I just think it's ridiculous that you're gonna sit there as an executive. And say,
They're also talking about signing him on for 3 more.
What is he gonna do? What are they gonna do? Do it from his jail cell? Like
giving
what?
Him a new contract. Like I read that they were talking about giving Ezra Miller a new contract, and I was like, "What? You're gonna do that now? Like you're thinking about that now?
Like right now? Like right now? Like at this moment in time?
Maybe you should get like an out clause or something. Like that.
Right. Like if you do go to jail, like we don't, have anything to do with you anymore.
Yeah.
Stop getting arrested. Go to rehab.
Well, he said he's going to do that.
Sure. Okay.
He's put out that statement. I know I screwed up statement.
But anyway, we talk about Ezra Miller. I'm good. I'm out. I'm tapped.
So you have anything going on this up few days?
Yeah, I'm headed to Boston for my wedding anniversary on Friday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Year 2. We made it to year 2.
Wow.
Yep. You'll have a good time.
Scary. Good job.
Yeah. I know. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. We made it. I mean, we still have a couple days, but
let's hope for the best.
Yeah. So congratulations
right, we still
on
have
your
to not
anniversary.
Kill each other in the car ride.
Yeah. Make sure you have a good.
Got my tire patched. Get my oil changed.
Got your tire patched. Get your oil changed.
I heard. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We're almost done. You want to take us home
Sure.
or ship us off to Boston?
Yeah. Well, with that said, yeah, that's right. I won't be here next week.
That's right.
So it might be.
It will be.
It will be their wonderful faces, Game Day CJ and Game Day my dad. So
Nice.
tune in next week. We appreciate you for watching and making it to the end. I'm sorry to all my fans that I won't be here next week, but we'll make it through. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Interact with us at Twitter at GameDay716. And as always, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Stay sunny, Buffalo.
Peace out.
Go Bills.